Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel, live beaming from my living room straight into your devices. It's me, RJB, from RJB's Starcraft Casts YouTube channel, and I'm here to bring you some entertainment to brighten your days under the threat and the terror of the boredom sponsored by the coronavirus lockdown. And I hope that you find some light in this replay. Because we have some light. Aros Light. The one and only. The real Light. The pro player Light himself. Playing the white Protoss here on the bottom corner of the map. And he starts off with a ridiculously early scout. Because he wants to go for that gateway proxy mid build. Whereas on the other side of the map, we've got HamburgerSasu playing the brown Zerg, and I just gotta add the sound setting just a little bit because it's a little bit too high. A little one lower. There we go. He sends out his drone to make a hatchery in his choke. First gateway is down here for Light. Honestly, didn't expect Light to go for a mid build, but considering proxy gateway is quite a common strategy for Protoss players on the regular maps, it's actually not that surprising, is it? That he's going for a proxy gateway as well on fastest map. 3 gateways here in the middle of the map. He's doing it exactly as it should be done. He sent 1 probe out into the middle, make the pylon on 8-9, make a scout a mid spot, make 1 gateway, make a scout more mid spots. Then you add 2 gateways with probe number 2 that you pulled off by the time you start making the first gateway. And then you start scouting the map until you find your opponent, the Zerg. And he quite smartly starts with, well, I wouldn't call it smart, honestly. He should have started with scouting the corners, because then he can scout only the chokes. But he eventually does manage to find HamburgerSasu's location, who went for a very early pull after the hatchery, and another hatchery being added on there as well, and pulling 3 drones to his choke, because he wants to get those Sunkens down just in time before the Zealots arrive. The first Zealot is out, 2 more Zealots are on the way. Actually, I think he did it wrong. Usually you make 2 gateways and then 1 more gateway right after. He went for 1, 2. But it might just work out or not. I'm not too sure. Zergans are already on the way. It looks like it's not going to work because those Zealots are coming out right about now. Might be a little bit too late because there's already 8 Zerglings on the scene, and 3 Sunken colonies about to be finishing up. He did make a shield battery there, but the shield battery is not going to provide him much shield recovery. Snipes the probe there as well, so that's going to be a no for the pylon here in the front. Starts building that cannon contain for the robotic facility expo or proxy on the middle of the map. Instead, he's managing to fight off those Zealots really nicely. Light is microing it quite well, but HamburgerSasu is microing it equally well, but of course Zealots are stronger than Zerglings, so the Zealots eventually do wind up winning the fight. 2 Zerglings still left alive. Light adds on the gas, has a cannon on the way at his nexus as well. Creep colony number 3 being thrown down, although being cancelled, relocated, and put down slightly further back. Second down the front is quite low. Light could go in and kill it, but he would lose all of his Zealots in the process unless he... Actually, he has enough Zealots now to go in and probably kill most of this. But a second colony is on the way. Another second colony is also on the way. So it might not be a worthy trade-off to go in to kill that frontal Sunken. He might be able to get 2. He goes in, he's walled off, and because he's walled off, he cannot walk in, so he decides to turn around. Another pylon being made here on the side. No pylon here in the front. He's got a second gas on the way as well. Cybernetic core on the way there as well. HamburgerSasu adds on another hatchery. 23 drones. Well, I mean, 23 supply. 17 drones. More drones spawning now. Drone count skyrocketing upwards up to 20 now. Is he making... He's making a robotics facility expo or proxy, no matter how you call it. Right here next to HamburgerSasu's base. I think that's a wise choice. Really close to the enemy. Plus HamburgerSasu doesn't know it's there. Cannon coming down here at the mid build as well. Zealots there on the middle, just standing there menacingly staring at the Sunkens. Not planning to do all that much. Just trying to intimidate, keep HamburgerSasu on his toes, because he knows he's being seen. So robotic facility number 2. Overlord is moving to the side. He might spot it, he might not spot it. I'm not sure. It depends entirely on how far this Overlord is going to move over to the left side of the map. Likewise, the Overlord moving to the right side to get the vision over the hill to extend his reaction time. He's adding on a lot of hatcheries. He's being extremely greedy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hatcheries, minus of course the main one. 6, 7. There's a robotic support bay there on the side. And as I mentioned earlier, the distance towards HamburgerSasu's base is now very, very short. It takes this much to fly over the hill. You can start loading up those zealots very quickly, send them over. But it looks like he got spotted out. Oh, wrong one. You got spotted out indeed. HamburgerSasu saw it happening. Plaza now repositioning. Oh, he sees the shuttle. Shuttle comes in. Does HamburgerSasu have what it takes to defend against this? He's got one sunken. Got Hydralisks on the way. Perfectly timed. Although it's only just 2 that have finished up now. 4 zealots are now moving in, but he's got a second sunken finished up. 8 zealots now inside of his base. Those 8 zealots, 12 zealots actually, can wind up dealing a lot of damage if he doesn't micro it well enough, and if Light manages to micro this really, really well. 5 Zerglings, about 7 Hydralisks, 8 Hydralisks, they're in the mix. The 2 Sunkens there will be crucial in fighting off those 12 Zealots, because those 12 Zealots are stronger than the Zerglings and the Hydralisks. But Light is just trying to buy time for the double Reaver. And he's going to land the Reaver behind the Zealots. And the Zealots will do the pushing work. We've seen this once before from HamburgerSasu as well. But he used Dark Templars. But this is a really, really smart move. Using those Zealots there to wall those Hydralisks away from the Reavers, so that the Reavers can do most of the work and taking down the Hydralisks, a couple of Hydralisks at a time. Great micro there on display from Light. Takes down the Sunken. One Reaver goes down. He picks it up. He gets a shot off on the drones, but most of the drones had been moved away prior to the shot, so his income stays safe. HamburgerSasu fights off the second wave of attack and aggression from Light and successfully moves himself into the next phase of the game. But Light is not planning on letting up the pressure. He's going in. He's going to pick up that Dragoon and the Reaver. Zealots there with speed as well. It's going to pick them up too and fly them over as well. Just going to make a small ball of units here inside of HamburgerSasu's base. 3 Reavers there. Now 4 Zealots being added into the mix as well. Light has been playing really solidly pumping, not letting down. That multitasking of a pro player is really being put on display here. More Zealots coming in. Another robotic facility being thrown down. 2, in fact, being thrown down. All this, of course, on a single Nexus. He has his Templars Archive finished up, but I don't see Storm Upgrade finished yet. He's got Reaver Scarab Upgrade damage on the way. He's going to use 2 shuttles to micro those 3 Reavers. He forgot to pick the last one up. And there I go, the same maneuver, but this time 3 Reavers are in the mix. HamburgerSasu splits up his units really, really well. Gets a great surround up on those Reavers. Goes for the Reavers, tries to snipe them, but the Zealots are forcing them away. But he got in behind them. The Zealots are incapable of protecting. And he has... The micro is great, though. But HamburgerSasu manages to win this one by a landslide, not losing all that many Hydralisks and staying alive, not taking any economic damage, and now gives himself the opportunity to start droning up really, really hard, or to stop massing Hydralisks and go for a counterattack. He got a lot of options. Which one he's going for, I'm not sure. But he is honestly in a quite comfortable situation. A lot of players would, unlike HamburgerSasu, not decide to not go for a lair, but HamburgerSasu is very confident in his ability to control his Hydralisks, and he is one of those players who believes that he can defend anything that's thrown at him with Hydralisks. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. He's in the past proven that he can, but he's in the past also proven that sometimes the Hydralisk option is not what he needs. Sometimes he does need those Guardians, he does need those Lurkers, or he does need those Mulists to defend. And I don't see him getting any Mulists anytime soon. But the upside is his economy is booming. And his mass, his Hylids count is quite large. Light still sticking to the Reavers. Got 4 robotics there on the side. Very slowly but surely and steadily adding Reavers there to the front while massing up on Zealots, potentially adding some Templars into the mix as well because he's now upgrading Psionic Storm. HamburgerSasu is getting both those upgrades for ground. For Hylids, getting, what's it called again? Something? No, the fight is starting. I'm not getting the time to call and remember what it's called. Needle Spine upgrade. I'll attack here from Light. But there's way too many Hylids and Sunkens there in the back that are spread out really, really nicely, which makes it really, really difficult for those Reavers to really push through this really quick, because the fact that they're split up minimizes the splash damage from the Reavers. If they had been closer to each other, Light would be able to take out Sunkens way quicker. So smart spacing also makes it easier for his Hylids to get a surround off and not get blocked out by his own Sunkens. Lair is now on the way. 55 drones. He's been droning up as hard as you can imagine. Overlords there on the side providing vision of the shuttle that's trying to find a way in. But Light sees that there's no possible way in, so he decides to drop that Reaver along with his friends. And together with their friends, they're going to push through those Sunkens. Light is very slowly ramping up. But likewise, if HamburgerSasu manages to fight through this frontal wave, you can immediately go for the counterattack and just push through everything that Light has here on the middle of the map. But appearances can be deceiving because there's 3 Templars there in the back, all with energy to storm, and he's not gonna pick them up. So he's gonna go for the frontal attack. HamburgerSasu now forced to send his entire mass into the fray. Light already on 175 supply. Being very smart with those Zealots, making them protect the Reavers. The storms coming down as well, great storms. HamburgerSasu nudged us into storms, but he's trying to focus down the Reavers, but all the storms are taking down his Hylids so damn quick. And this is one of those situations where going for Mutalisks quicker or going for Guardians quicker might have changed the outcome. Dragoons now coming in as well. Templars have used their storms. Call of Reavers did go down. Most of the Hylids have gone down as well, but another wave of Hylids is on the way. But I think that Light is now going to go for the workers. No, it's empty. He just tries to throw HamburgerSasu off, sends the shuttle back. Is he going to pick something up? Is he going to go for the drop? He's got 2 Reavers there inside that shuttle. Not sure if he knows. He's microing the Reaver there pretty well. But HamburgerSasu micros it better and gets a surround off on those Reavers. Kills the Reavers, kills the Templars, kills the Dragoons, and eventually manages to hold off the attack. The grand attack from Light, it was very menacing, but 2 more Reavers now being unloaded, but the Reavers not doing all that much because they're getting unloaded right in front of the Hylids, and Hylids were spread out a little bit too much. Oh, great storms there coming from Light. Finishes off most of the Hylids there, completely curb stomping HamburgerSasu's ability to really push out. Instead, he's forced to keep on defending, make new creep colonies before all this, the creep colony, the creep. It's just called creep. The creep disappears. Drop coming in from the right side. HamburgerSasu responds, but will he be in time? Will he be capable of sniping that shuttle? He will be, because Light decides to turn around and tries to micro and wiggle his way through while attacking through the front with some Zealots just to keep and distracting him. But those Zealots eventually do turn around. I really like the fact that Light is not wasting his units. Even though it's only 3 Zealots, he's pulling them back and preserving them. It's also resumed probe production. Strategy is not really working out. I mean, it's working out. He's been dealing a lot of... He's been keeping HamburgerSasu busy and on his toes, but HamburgerSasu has not sustained any economic damage and has been growing in size very slowly. Although his gas is really low because he's only mining from 3 gazers, and that might be a limiting factor in his ability to get up to size. Another smart move here from Light. Dropping Templars on the high ground to storm some Hylids there on the side to potentially open up a path for that storm drop on the minerals. But first, a massive Reaver push from the front, 8 Reavers with Scarab upgrade damage, Scarab capacity, no Scarab capacity, just the Scarab Reaver damage. Templar there inside the shuttle as well, just in case he needs to drop that one and storm some Hylids to kill this Reaver mass. The Reaver mass is absolutely deadly. Hylids are dying so quick, but now he's blocking his own Zealots there in that choke point, making it very easy for HamburgerSasu to snipe those Reavers before the Zealots can push the Hylids back into their base. Now the Sunkens. Reaver's pushing slowly. Smart pullback. Doesn't waste again. It's kind of funny that he's only on 9 gateways, but still managing to keep up his Psy count up to where it's been this entire game. And given that HamburgerSasu has so many Sunkens, throws down more hatcheries. Well, he honestly already has enough, in my honest opinion. Although you might argue that on Zerg, you can never have enough hatcheries. The real thing that he really needs is more gas. Starts adding on more gas there on the side. No Queen's Nest yet, no Spire yet. So he's still relying on only those Hydralisks. Also, he does have Lurker aspect. There's a single cute little Lurker there in the front. And I don't see any detection from Light. He doesn't have an observatory, but no observers. So he might be in for a nasty surprise once he goes in through the front. But first he's trying to go in from the side because he's sending those Corsairs out to clear out some Overlords. But now does he have Disruption Web? I wonder. Reaver's now unloading on the low ground. Auras have been pushed away. Storm's coming down on the Hydralisk. The Reaver's clearing out a couple of Hydralisks there, but not enough. The Hydralisks are having a field day. Try to snipe and try to sneak in the drop there as well. But the drop got sniped by HamburgerSasu really quickly, being super aware of his surroundings. No frontal attack happened. His drones are all still alive. Light is having trouble getting into HamburgerSasu's base. HamburgerSasu has been responding to everything superbly. Not making a single mistake so far. Not making a single mistake so far. So really well played by him. And once again, how many Reavers is that? I come 2 and 1, 5 Reavers. He's trying to find a way, but he can't really find a way in. Instead, he's doing some abuse on the Overlords with the Corsairs. More Overlords spawning now. Hive is finally on the way. Spire's there on the way as well. He's got 3 Evo Chambers now for every single upgrade that he needs. Lurking Speed on the way as well. And there is a Disruption Web from Light, which already tells us what Light's plan is. He's going to drop Reavers inside of HamburgerSasu's base and disrupt web the Hydralisks so that they cannot attack. And they will inevitably die to the Reavers. It's an absolutely beautiful strategy to behold. Really difficult to pull off as well. So I'm really curious to see how Light is going to pull this one off. So just another wave of shuttles and Reavers before he can go in. He needs a couple more Corsairs as well. He's got 8. Greater Spire on the way now. Soon on the way for HamburgerSasu. Just filling out his base with the last couple of hatcheries. Got 7 there and 8 here for a total of 15 plus 1. So 16 hatcheries. There's the single Lurker there in the front being an absolute nuisance. Absolute surprise there for Light, but Light is looking to wriggle his way into the side here. But he can't wriggle his way in because there's so many Hydralisks there ready to snipe down those shuttles. HamburgerSasu trying to chase the shuttles, but he cannot move over the wall. That's common sense, but moving out there in the front, taking down those cannons. There comes the Disruption Webs. He unloads some of the Reavers, but he's not really getting much success, although now he unloads the second wave of Reavers. I think he messed up on the Disruption Webs there. So it goes to show that even pro players sometimes by accident use all of their Corsairs for Disruption Webs, but he does clear out that entire corner. More Reavers now being flown in, ready to be dropped there on the low ground. He does have a couple of more Disruption Webs here on those Corsairs. I'm not sure if he knows, but he can put those Disruption Webs down here on those Hydralisks. Hydralisks going down very quickly. Zealous there is keeping those Hydralisks away, but eventually the Hydralisks do win the fight. Corsairs... HamburgerSasu handled that pretty well. We'll also have to admit that Light somewhat messed up with the Corsair control. And in the meantime, while all this was happening, he's also lost control over the middle because the cannons have been cleared out. The Expo gateways have been cleared out as well. HamburgerSasu is on the pushback. There is not much here inside of Light's base. He is throwing up a lot of cannons, but he's got no gateways inside of his base. All he's got left is this Reaver Expo here on the top side. It hasn't really seen much success. On the upside though, I've been using that word way too often. There's still no observer, so he can't go in through the front. There's a couple of lurkers here at the hive protecting his income, so in that regard HamburgerSasu seems fine too. But this is a lot of Reavers here. I think he's got about 12 Reavers there, and he's got 7 more on the way. He's got disruption webs ready because he's got the energy on the Corsairs. HamburgerSasu is trying to find his way in here inside of light space, but that's way too many cannons to fight into. So the drop happening here on the top of the base. No disruption webs come down yet. He drops right on top of the Hydralisk, and this time the Hydralisk are going down very quickly, and the disruption webs themselves are even better too. More Reavers getting unloaded. No, yeah, there the Reavers. Disruption webs this time are right on top of the Hydralisk, and HamburgerSasu now forced to pull over more and more units to take care of those Reavers. He cannot switch to Mulisks, because Mulisk would go down against those Corsairs very, very quickly, but HamburgerSasu does wind up coming out on top. He did lose about 30 Hydralisks or so, and a single hatchery, but nothing too serious. Another wave of Reavers is about to be spawning here for light. Another 15 seconds away or so, I think. I'm not sure if HamburgerSasu is going to give him the time to get those up, because HamburgerSasu is sending out his mass over to the top corner to take care of those cannons there in the front. But the Reavers are just... Wait, he had more Reavers. He still had Reavers. He's unloading the Reavers. He's going to take care of those Highlanders there on the low count with the help of those cannons there in the back. The 6 or 7 Reavers, and 7 more are spawning just now. This is a slaughter. Look at those Hydralisks walking into their untimely deaths. Does he have Mulis? He got Mulis on the way. Guardians will be out very soon. Probably a couple of Devourers as well. Although his gas is quite low because he hasn't filled out all the gas spots just yet. Doesn't even have gas for Hydralisks. Well, now he's queuing up a bunch of Hydralisks, but now he's losing Overlords there as well. Getting supply stuck. Great move from Light there. At least utilizing those pesky, annoying observer Corsairs to take care of the supply count. And he's gonna try to lock HamburgerSasu into a supply stuck while dropping those Reavers inside of his base. But first he has to start loading up those Reavers into the shuttles if he wants to get all of this done before the Overlords spawn, because Overlords are already on the way for HamburgerSasu. He's got 22 of them on the way, and he'll be all sorts of fine and dandy once those Overlords are out. He's got a couple of Devourers here as well to take care of those Corsairs. Guardians there as well. Guardians coming in for the flank. Hydralisk coming in as well. Light is trying to hold his own, but those Corsairs are now rendered somewhat useless. He picks up most of the Reavers. Is he going to go for the drop, or is he going to pull back? What is he going to do? He's going to fly around. HamburgerSasu seems to have noticed because he's pulling, but no, he's not pulling back his Guardians. He's just sending in all of his mass there. But he still has some units inside of his base, mostly Lurkers there around his main. Light is going straight for the main. One of the shuttles gets sniped. Reavers unloading on top of the Lurkers, and there comes the shot on the Reavers. Pretty much going down instantly. He did take down a lot of those drones. The disruption webs came out a little bit late, and Light calls GG because he knows he cannot win this game anymore. Taps out, calls GG. HamburgerSasu wins the Zerg versus Protoss against pro player Light, who is actually a Terran main, but also pretty good at Protoss. But nothing he tried really seemed to work. The idea is great, but HamburgerSasu played it out really, really well. He was really close, though, to getting ran over a couple of times. Like one instance where Light had his units there inside of HamburgerSasu's choke. Was really, really close to being ran over, but HamburgerSasu managed to hold his own, come out on top. And I've got one more job to do, and that is hunt for a thumbnail. So together, we will go on our magical journey to find that thumbnail. Which one should I go? Oh, wait, I got a nice one. I remember. Let's see. Yeah, this is a nice thumbnail. I mean, I want it a little bit... I mean, there's the exploding Reavers, so let's go for that one. This is how much zoom in should I do? This much zoom in? A little bit higher. Bam. And there's is the thumbnail. Just gonna add some text. And yeah, so thank you for watching. Hope this game was enjoyable for you. Hope you liked the attempt by Light to pull off the Reaver disruption web strategy, which didn't really work out all that well. I've seen it work out really well in the past. Against some players, it really depends on how well you pull off your disruption webs and how well the opponent micros their ground forces out of the disruption webs. And HamburgerSasu did that really well. Light somewhat failed most of his disruption webs, of course, to HamburgerSasu's benefit. So thanks for watching, stay safe, and of course, most importantly, stay healthy.